Today I am here to discuss very interesting topic which is related to PGCET. So I have selected some questions from PGCET MBA 2017 and 19, and I am going to discuss about quantitative analysis. So in this category there will be 25 questions from this. Out of 100 questions you will be having in the PGCET, you will have 25 questions from the quantitative section. So, and these questions will be very simple, and you need to apply some basic techniques and tricks, and solving this quantitative analysis and logical reasoning is my passion, and I solve these problems by using the Vedic mathematics tricks and some other basic shortcut techniques. So I have selected most of the questions that appeared in the 2017 and 19 in the PGCET MBA, and we'll discuss one by one. So the first question is, if x is equal to 12 square plus 13 square plus 14 square minus 15 square, when x is divided by 50, what is the remainder? So they are asking to calculate the remainder when you divide this number by this, when you divide this x by the 50. So if you take up this 12 square plus 13 square, if I take directly this, 12 square is 144 plus 13 square is 169, okay, plus 14 square is 196 minus 15 square is 225. But if you take up this, it will be too big. So to avoid this, what you can do is, if you observe this 14 square minus 15 square, 14 square minus 15 square is nothing but in the type of a square minus b square. What is a square minus b square? A square minus b square is a plus b into a minus b. So just if you apply this technique, you can solve it in 1 or 2 steps. So I will keep this 144 plus 169 as it is, plus 196 minus 225. Instead of doing that, if I take up this a plus b, a minus b, so 14 plus 15 is 29, and 14 minus 15 is minus 1. So this comes out to be 144 plus 169 minus 29. So this comes out to be 144 plus 169 minus 29 is 140. So the answer will be 284. So 284 is the value of x. So if you divide this by 50, if you take approximately 50, okay, so approximate calculation, 50 5 side will be 250. So 50 5 side will be 250. Okay, so the remainder will be 284 minus 250. The remainder will be 34. So the answer for this question is D, that is 34. So this D is the answer for this. So try to apply such techniques wherever it is possible so that you can avoid the step. Here I am explaining so because I am taking many steps. Otherwise you can just calculate orally 144 plus 169 minus 29. It will be directly 144 plus 140. So the answer will be 284 divided by 50, and the remainder is 34. So this is the first question that we discussed. I hope everyone has understood this. The second question is, A is twice as fast as B, A is twice as fast as B, B is thrice as fast as C. The journey covered by C in 54 minutes will be covered by B is. So there are 3 people, they are having a different speed, and their distances, the same distance but their speed is different. So they are given the comparison of A and B, the relation between A and B is given, and also the relation between B and C is given, and what is asked is, if the journey covered by C is in 54 minutes and will be covered by B is. So if you take up this, there is a formula called as speed is equal to distance upon time. So this we need to apply. Since this is very simple, the journey covered by C. So if C is take 54 minutes, how much time will B be done? So if you directly take this, if C requires 54 minutes, so B required how much? So since B is thrice as fast as D, so it will be nothing but C by B, okay, or if you take C by 3 it will be. So if C takes 54 minutes, how much time will B take? So this will be 54 by 3, which comes out to be 18. So in this particular example, it is directly given that the answer can be, we can get the answer as 18, but in most of the cases will not get the answer directly. So actually for this we need to take something of this kind. So the answer for this question is 18 minutes. This in the other questions it will not be same. So what we need to do is we need to take the ratios of A, B and C. So they can ask the ratio of A with C or B with C or something of that kind. So in that situation you need to take the ratios. So how to take the ratios? C's speed be x kilometers per hour, and if you take B's speed, so B's speed will be 3 kilometers per hour, 3x kilometers per hour, and if you take A speed, it will be twice, so it will be 6 kilometers per hour. So usually you need to do it by using the ratios method. So if you take up the ratio of A is to B is to C, so it will be 6x is to 3x is to x. So this will be, so 6 is to 3 is to x, okay, or you can say 1. So this is 1, so it will be 6 is to 3 is to 1. So this is the ratio what we can get. So with the help of ratios, now if you take the A ratio as 6 and B ratio as 3 and C's ratio as 1. So if what they are telling that if see the journey covered by C in 54 minutes. So if you take up the ratio and if you divide it by 6 is to 3 is to 1, you can get the answer as 18 minutes. So this is the actual approach what you can use, but in this particular example, since 54 is can be easily divided by 3, we can get the answer as 18. So this is the second question for the today's session. So I hope everyone has understood this concept of taking the ratios and calculating it. And always the next question, from 6 boys and 4 girls, 5 are to be selected for admission for a particular course. In how many ways can this be done if there must be exactly 2 girls? So this is the question from permutation and combination. So we need to select 5 are to be selected. So our selection will remain 5, and out of that 2 girls are compulsory. So out of 6 boys we can select them in 3 ways. I mean 6. So 6C3, and in the remaining 4 girls we need to select them 4C2. So the solution will be 6C3 into 4C2. We already know this formula of NCR. NCR is equal to n factorial upon n minus r factorial into r factorial. So this is the formula that we need to apply to arrive at the answer. So I will apply the same formula now. We need to select 5 students, and out of that 2 girls has to be there. So it will remain 4C2, and from 6 boys it will be 6C3. So what you have to do is 6, 3, 3. So this will be 6 factorial upon 6 minus 3 factorial, n minus r 3 factorial into r factorial, that is 3 factorial into 4C2. This will be 4 factorial divided by 4 minus 2, that is 2 factorial into 2 factorial. So now if you just simplify this, I will make up this into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 factorial divided by 3 factorial into 3 factorial. So 3 factorial get cancels. This 3 factorial nothing but 3 into 2 is 6. So this get cancels. So this will become 5 into 4, it will be 20, and into this 4 factorial. So this, if I simplify, this will be 4 into 3 into 2 factorial. So divided by 2 factorial into 2 factorial. So 2 get cancels, and this 2 factorial within 2 ones are 2 twos are. So 3 twos are is 6. So the answer will be 120. So the answer for this question is 120 ways, because 6 boys and 4 girls are there. We have to select 5 students, and compulsorily 2 girls should be there. So they can be selected in 4C2 ways, and the remaining will be 6C3. So if you apply this NCR formula, you can easily get the answer. So the answer for this question is 120. So this is the answer for the question. We'll take up the next question, students, and this is in a race of 800 meters, A can beat B by 40 meters. In race of 500 meters, B can beat C by 5 meters. In a race of 200 meters, A will beat by. So we need to make a relation with A and B, and also with B and C, and then at the end we need to make a relation with A and C. So directly we cannot make a relation. So initially what they are given is when A runs 800, when A runs 800 meters, so B runs P can beat B by 40 meters. So the difference between A and B, if you take, when A runs 800 meters and B beats by 40 meters, so B will run 760. So now I need to make A for 200 because we want to get at the end A will beat by C with when in a race of 200 meters they have asked. So I need to convert this into 200. So I mean, if I do make a relation with 800 and if I reduce it for 200 meters, what is the relation that I need to get? So if I divide it by 4 and this, if I divide it by 4, this will be 200 meters. So when A runs 200 meters, what will B run? So B will run, so this will be 190 meters. So B will run 190 meters. So when A runs 200 meters, B will run 190 meters. This relation we got. Now we need to make a relation with B and C. Okay, so what they are given up with respect to B is when B runs 500 meters, C will run 495 because B can beat C by 5 meters they are told. In a race of 200 meters, in a race of 500 meters, B can beat C by 500 meters. So that means if B is running with a speed of runs by 500 meters, so C will run 5 meters less. So C will run by 495. So now we need to make it for, so if B runs 500 meters and C runs 495, how much will C will take to cover this? So this will be 190 into 495 divided by 500. So C will cover in 190 because B runs in 190. When A runs for 200, B runs at 190. So how much C will take to cover 190 so that we can make a relation with A and C. So now if you calculate this 0 0 get cancels and we can get this 5 tons and this is 499. Okay, this will be 99 and this will remain, if you calculate this will be 19 into 9.9. So this is the value what we get, and if you simplify this, so how to do this? 19 into 9.9. So instead of doing this 19, I can write it as 20 minus 1 into 9.9 because my calculation will be easy. So 9.9 into 20, so this will be 198 minus 9.9. So 198 minus 9.9, this will comes out to be 188.1. So when A runs for 200 meters, B runs for 190 meters, at the same time C will cover 188.1. So they are asking A will beat C by, so we are almost arrived at the answer. Now if you just subtract the distances of this and this, so A runs for 200, at the same time B will cover 188.1. So if you subtract this, you will get the answer as 11.9 meters. So the answer for this question is 11.9. So like this you need to solve this. If you take up this with the formulas, you will take more time. So to avoid that, what you can do is you just make a relation with A and B. What they asked, 800 meters and A can beat by 40 meters. So 40 meters less. And then what I did, I converted into 200 meters because they are asked at the end with C and in a race of 200 meters. So in a race of 200 meters I want, so I got the relation with A and B for 200 meters. So when A runs for 200 meters, B runs for 190. And then if B runs for 500, C runs for 495 because the difference between B and C is 5 meters less. So now if you calculate for how much C will cover, so it will be 190 into 495 divided by 500. So because it is with the race of 500 meters, so you will get, if you simplify it, you will get the result as 188.1. So when A runs for 200 meters, B will run for this. So the distance, the difference they are asked, A will beat C by 11.9 meters. So the answer for this question is option B, 11.9 meters. Next question. So this is a very simplification question it is. On dividing a number by 68, we get 269 as dividend and 0 as remainder. On dividing the same number by 67, what will be the remainder? So if you take this number as x, so x divided by 68, we get 269. So similarly, if I divide this by same number by 67, I will get the answer as, this I need to calculate. So if I take up this, x by 68 divided by x by 67 is equal to 269 divided by question mark, or this I can say it as y. So now if I take up this, so this will be x by 68 into 67 by x. So this will get cancelled, x get cancels. Now so the remaining this will be this equal to 269 divided by y. So if you take up this, simplify this will be 67 divided by 68 is equal to 269 divided by y. So if you solve it for y, if you cross multiply this, so y is equal to 269 into 68 divided by 67. So usually directly even if you are not able to divide 269 by 67, just try to divide 68 by 67. So 67 ones are 67 ones are, so the remainder is 1. Or otherwise if you solve it with 269 also, you will get the remainder as 1 itself. So the answer for this question is 1, that is option B. Quickly move on to the next question. So this is very common question that will be asked. The difference of the squares of two consecutive odd integers. So if you take any two consecutive odd integers, you can easily get it. So there is no hard and fast rule or any formula for this. You can take the numbers, for example, you can take 3 and 1, or you can say 1 and 3, or you can take 3 and 5. So if you take 3 and 1, 3 square is 9 minus 1 is what? 8. So 8 is divisible by 8. Even if you take this 3 and 5, 5 square is 25 and 3 square is 9. So this will be 16. Even if you take the next numbers 5 square and 7 square, easily you can divide it by 8. So the answer for this question is option D, 8. So some of the questions will be very simple and straightforward. You can solve such questions in just 10 seconds. If you take any common numbers directly, consecutive odd numbers, you can easily get it. So there are many chances of asking the similar type of questions. They may also ask the consecutive odd numbers or consecutive even numbers. Similar type of questions will be asked from this section. Answer for this question is option D, that is 8. If L stands for plus, M stands for minus, and so on. So just substitute the mathematical formulas that are given in the symbols. So if I directly substitute this, 14, N stands for into multiplication, 14 into 10, L stands for plus 42. So 42, P stands for divided by 42 divided by 2. Then M stands for minus 8. So in such questions, you should always apply this BODMAS rule. So BODMAS rule always says that brackets of division, multiplication, addition and subtraction. So you need to apply this rule. So first you need to solve this. There are no brackets. Directly you can solve this. So 14 into 10, this is 140 plus 42 divided by 2. This will be 21. 21 minus 8. So 21 minus 8 is 140 plus 21 minus 8 is 13. So the answer will be 153. Because I am explaining, I am taking too much of time to explain this. So otherwise directly you can arrive at this step, and in 2 or 3 steps you can easily get it. 21 minus 8 also you can calculate orally, that is 13. So 140 plus 13 is 153. So you can easily get the answer as 153. So the answer for this question is option A, that is 153. The next question, this is very simple, basic one. 0.009 divided by question mark equal to 0.01. So in such situation, whenever they are asked like 0.009 or 0.001, what you can do is you can just take up this into 9 into 10 raised to minus 3, okay, divided by question mark is equal to 0.01. So if I write this 9 into 10 raised to minus 1, so I can easily get this. So this 9 get cancels. So 10 raised to minus 3, if this goes up, so this will be 10 raised to minus 3 and this will become plus. So this will be 10 raised to minus 1. So this will be 10 raised to minus 2, which is equal to 0.01. Sorry, the answer will be, if you do this, it will be 0.01. So the answer will be 0.9. The answer for this will be 0.9. So if you divide 0.009 by 0.9, you will get the answer as 0.01. So the answer for this question is 0.9, that is option B. This is also a simplification. The trick that we applied in the earlier problem, the same thing can be applied here. So instead of taking all, and it will be very difficult for you. So if you convert in terms of normal, numbers, what this will happen is to be this, we can write it as 3.6, whatever they are given. Instead of that, we can write it as 36 into, this can be directly written as 48, and this will be 25. This divided by, this is 0.12, so we can write this as 12 into 10 raised to minus 1, okay, into, this will be 9, and this will be 5. So if you cancel this, 5 ones are 5 5s are, so this will be 9, okay, 9 ones are 9 4s are, this will be, and this 12 ones are 12 4s are, so this will be 4 into 4, that is 16, 16 into 5, it is 80, divided by, this is 10 raised to minus 1. So if you take up this, it will become 80 into 10, which is nothing but 800. So instead of taking, dividing it by the fractional values, it will be very complicated. It is very complicated. So to avoid that, what you can do is try to convert in terms of 10 raised to minus 2 and 10 raised to minus 2. So for example, how I written this 48 by 9, because I know that 0.48 is nothing but 48, 48 divided by 10 raised to minus 2. Similarly, 9 is nothing but 9 into 10 raised to 9 into 10 raised to minus 2. So 10 raised to minus 2, 10 raised to minus 2 get cancels. So I can write it as 48 divided by 9. Similarly for 25 and 5. So for this it will be 36, and this it will be 12 into 10 raised to minus 1, because it is 0.12. So 10 raised to minus 1 remains. So if you shift it up, so it will be 4 into 4 is 16, 16 into 5 is 80. So 80 into 10, it will be 800. So the answer for this question will be option B, that is 800. Next question. So this is also again from the simplification. So we are getting many questions from the simplification. So almost 5 to 6 questions will be from basically from simplification. So what is the difference between the biggest and the smallest fraction among? So we need to find which is the biggest and smallest. So if you take 2 by 3, okay, so 2 by 3 will be 0.66, because 1 by 3 is 0.33, so 2 by 3 will be 0.66, and if you take 3 by 4, 3 by 4 will be 0.75, and 4 by 5 if you take, this will be 0.8, and this 5 by 6 will be 0.83 something of this. So 0.833 or 0.83 you can take. So the smallest and biggest number, if you take, the smallest number is 2 by 3 and the biggest number is 5 by 6. So if you take the difference of these two, that is 5 by 6 and 2 by 3, so 6 as the LCM, so this will be 1 za and this will be 2 za, so this will be 5 minus 4, so the answer will be 1 by 6. 1 by 6 will be the answer. So these are very simplification question, very simple question. You need to just calculate it. Even if you are not able to do it, just put 0 here. 20 by 3 it will be almost 3, 6 are 18, so 0.6. 3 by 4, 1 by 4 we know that it is 0.25, so 3 by 4 will be 0.75, so 4 by 5 is 0.8 and 5 by 6 is 0.83. So if you are do this, your entire part is over. So you need to just take the difference of the remaining, the biggest and the smallest. So 5 by 6 is the biggest and smallest is the 2 by 3. So if you subtract these two, take 6 as the LCM, you can do it easily. Because I am explaining, I am taking too much of time in calculation of this. So you can cut down the steps and you can directly write this and you can directly take the LCM and you can arrive at the answer. So for answer for this question is option 1, that is 1 by 6. If the 7th day of the month is 3 days earlier than Friday, what day will it be? On the 19th day of the month. Very simple. So if you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday and Sunday. So if you can do this easily, you can get it. If the 7th day of the month is 3 days earlier than Friday, so 3 days earlier than Friday it will be Tuesday, because Friday is here, so 3 days earlier it will be this, so it will be 7th. So what will be, what day will it be on the 19th day of the month? So if you add again 7, so next Tuesday will be 14th, So next Tuesday will be 14th. Okay. So 19th day they have asked. So add 5 days. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you add 5 days, what you will get? So 15th will be Wednesday, 16th, 17th, 18th and 19th. So 19th day will be Sunday. So very simple. You can just do it orally. Just for the explanation, this is required. Otherwise, you can do it. So just Friday they were asked. So if you take up 3 days before, it will be Tuesday. So double that. 7 into 2 will be 14. So 14 will be on Tuesday. So add 5 to it. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That will be the 19th. So the answer for this question will be option A. That is Sunday. We'll take up the next question. A person standing in the queue is 17 from the first and 13 from the last. How many people are standing in the queue or in the row? So a person is standing in the queue 17 from the first. So 17 from the first if you take and 13 from the last. So if you take from the last, his position is 13th. His position is 13th. So from the last if you consider, his position is 13th. So but how many are there in this? So it will be 12. Because his position is 13th, if you leave him, the remaining people will be 12. So from starting it is 17, so that will be considered, and from this side his position is 13th. From the last his position is 13. So how many are there from the last to this person? It is 12. So 17 plus 12, it is 29. So easily you can answer this. So or otherwise they may give there are students standing in the row, or it can be based on the student's rank is 20th from in the class of 50, 20th from the first and 13th from the last. Like this the question will be asked. So you need to calculate it. One side you need to calculate. Either you calculate from this side or you calculate from this side. Or if you calculate in the other way, if you calculate from the 13th, so from this side if you consider it as 13, so from this side you need to take it as 16. So either you take in this way or in this way, you will arrive at the same answer. So it will be 29. Don't add 17 and 13 and directly say it as 30. So it is wrong. So always you need to take from one side, and from the remaining side, how many are left out, that you need to consider. So it will be 17 plus 12, you will get it as 29. So the answer for this question is 29, that is option A. Take the next question. If the diagonals of a rhombus are 8 cm and 10 cm respectively, what will be the area of the rhombus? So it is directly based on the formula. So I will explain the rhombus first. So this is the rhombus and they are given two diagonals. Okay. Rhombus is basically, it is also a type of parallelogram you can say, and they are given the diagonals. If the diagonals of a rhombus are 8 cm, so if I consider this as 8 cm from this to this, and I will take this as 10 centimeters. So if we know the diagonals, the formula will be d1 d2 divided by 2. So this is the formula to calculate the area of the rhombus. So the area of the rhombus will be calculated based on this formula, where d1 and d2 are nothing but two diagonals. So if you substitute the values, that is 8 into 10 divided by 2, 2 ones are 2 fours are. So no need to actually calculate it, orally you can do it. So the answer will be 40 square centimeters. Okay, so this is the answer for this. Sometimes, or if they give, or you can consider this rhombus as also there are 4 triangles are present. So if you take up this, you can also use the half into base into height method. So if you want to take that, so this entirely will be 8 centimeter. So if you take this triangle, so how many triangles are present in the rhombus? 4 triangles are given. So or they may, instead of giving this, what they may give is the length and breadth of a triangle in a rhombus they may give with 2 diagonals. So if that is there, so if entirely it is 8, so this will be 4, and this, this length is 10, so this will be 5. So if you can calculate this, okay, the area of a triangle we know that half into base into height. So if you apply that, you can get the area of one triangle, multiplied by 4, you will get the area of the rhombus. So if you take that approach, length and breadth of a triangle, I can do it by half into base into height method. Okay, so multiplied by, this is of one triangle. How many triangles are there in the rhombus? 4 triangles are there, so multiplied by 4. So you can easily get this. So I mean, if the question is with respect to like this, if they ask, I mean, if they give the information about the triangle in a rhombus which consists of two diagonals, that time you can apply this technique. So this will be half into base into height, so half into base, that is 4, into height, that is 5, into 4. Okay, so this will be 2 2s are, and 5 into 2 is 10, 10 into 4 is 40, so 40 square centimeter. So we can do it the same question with different solutions, I mean with different techniques. Only thing is what information they have given, that is very much important. So the answer for this question is option B, that is 40 square centimeters. This is the next question, straightforward question. What is the square root of 729? So when they are given, when they give the perfect square, it is very easy to identify. So 729, I will just tell you the basics, how to identify it. So 1 square, 2 square, 3 square will write. So 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16, 5 square is 25, 6 square is 36, 7 square is 49, and 8 square is 64, 9 square is 81. So when, if you take up this, so the number end with 9 and this. So if I take up this, by common sense, if you take 30 square if you take, it will be 900. So but it is 729. So the answer should be less than 30. The answer should be less than 30. If you take up the elimination method, you can easily discard option B, C and D. Or otherwise, even if some one of the option is say option B is something, say it is 23. So then you will have a problem between, I mean, whether to choose option A or whether to choose option B, where the option A is 27 and option B is 23. So in such situation, always take the middle term. So how to take the middle term? Middle term will be always 25 square, or we can take 35 square. So the trick to find the squares of numbers ending with 5. So 25 square and 35 square. So how to do this? This will be 625. This will be 5 square 25. 3 4s are. This is 12. So if you go on doing it, you can easily get the result. So whenever you are finding the square of any number ending with 5, you will need to write 25 first towards your right side and take this number and multiply it with the next number. So 2 3s are 6. So 35 square will be 25, 3 4s are 12. So if you want to find the square of 45, it will be 5 square is 25, 4 5s are 20. So the answer will be 2025. So even if there is a conflict between 23 and 25, if you take the square of 25, so 25 square is 625. Okay, and in the given option 7 8 29 is the answer. So 729, which is little more than 25 square. So the answer will be 27 square. So the answer for this question will be 27 square. You can easily do it. Take the next question. So the next question is based on this series. So 13, 25, 51, 101, 203. So usually when we get the questions of this series, we always try to take the difference or add some value in this. So if you take the difference of 25 and 13, you will get 12. And if you take difference of 25 and 51, it will be something more than, it will be 26. So there is no proper relation with these differences. So in the case of series questions, we cannot arrive at the answer directly. So you spend 10 to 15 seconds and try to apply some techniques. So if this technique doesn't work, so you can take up the one more technique. So if I take up this 13, 25 and 51, 101 and 203. So if you clearly observe this number is almost double, approximately double than this. So 25 approximately double is 50, 51 approximate double is 102. So they are almost similar to this. So if you just take up this 13 into 2 into 2 minus 1, 13 into 2 minus 1 is 25, 13 into 2 minus 1. So 25 into 2 plus 1. So in this case it is into 2 plus 1. So again if you take, it is into 2 minus 1. So the series is continued. So the previous number multiplied by 2 minus 1 plus 1, minus 1 plus 1. So the series is continued here. So here it will be minus 1, here it will be plus 1, and again here it will be minus 1. So 203 into 2. So 203 double will be 406 because multiplied by 2, 406. So 406 minus 1, you can easily get the answer as 405. So in case of spend 15 to 20 seconds to get the question, to get the technique. If not, you can skip the next question and you can try for the other questions, and at the end you can attempt such questions. So you have to be very careful. Sometimes it can be questions of say something squares, 1 square, 2 square, 3 square of this kind, and 4 square and so on. Or it can be of cubes, 1 cube, 2 cube, 3 cube and so on. So you have to be very careful and try to read the question 1 or 2 number of times so that you can make some relation. So if you observe this clearly, 13 double 26 minus 1, approximately it is double of this. 25 is approximately double of this. So there is some relation with these two. So if you get this technique correctly, multiplied by 2 minus 1 plus 1, you can easily get the answer. So the answer for this question is option A, that is 405. Next question, the sum of any 4 consecutive numbers is always. So for this we'll understand the basics. So if you take any 2 numbers or any 2 consecutive numbers or any 4 consecutive numbers, so if you take any 2 consecutive numbers, one will be odd and one will be even. So you need to understand this technique first. Odd plus odd is always even. Okay, odd plus even is always odd. Okay, next, even plus even is always even, or even plus odd is also odd. So you need to understand this. So what they have asked, the sum of any 4 consecutive numbers. So if you take any 4 consecutive numbers, when you take 4 numbers, whether you start with the even number or odd number. For example, if you start with even odd, okay, or in case if you start with odd number, odd even. So if you know this basic concept clearly, you can straight away answer this question, because even plus even is even and odd plus odd is even, or odd plus odd is even and even plus even is also even. So you can easily get the answer. Or even if you substitute any value, for example, if you take 1 plus 2 plus, or for example if you start with 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, your answer will be even. Or even if you start with this 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, so this will be 10. Or even if you take this 2 plus 3, 5 plus 5 is 10, 10 plus 4 is 14. So whether you add the numbers starting with even or whether you add the 4 consecutive numbers with odd, the answer will be always in the even. So this basic knowledge is required. Or if you know the basic concept, you can easily say that the sum of 4 consecutive numbers is always even. So the answer for this question will be option A, that is even.